Right. And we'll just give it another couple minutes before we start officially. I got a little sparkling. It's non-alcoholic sparkling rosé in my cup to cheers our kickoff.
Good for you. Hello.
Hi, it's nice to see a bunch of new faces. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
A lot of folks that we haven't met yet. This is going to be fun. So maybe if you'd like to add where you're joining us from and your name, if we can't see it in your username on Zoom. I'm Iris, and I'm going to also put that in the chat.
I'm Jane. I'm from Portsmouth.
Awesome.
I'm Irina. I'm from Chicago.
Hi, Irina. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm on Zoom right now. Okay,
and we'll do a little go around too, where people will introduce themselves and maybe show their yarn a little bit. Hi, Linda. I see you in the chat and on the screen.
Okay.
And if you're not, maybe just be somebody's maybe not muted that could be muted.
Before I go muted, I like your new glasses.
Maine Hospital where?
Uh-oh, let's see who.
I know, but what?
Okay. I got, these are like just those nice readers that you pick up at the bookstore, and thank you. I have my other ones, but I'm in a different room tonight, so there we go. Well, here we all are. We are at 5:01, so we're going to kick this Carbeth knit along off on Zoom. I was just saying how awesome it is to see so many new faces that I don't know yet. So I would love to, what I think I might do is call on folks, and we'll try to keep it like kind of a brief, like, hi, my name is Iris. I'm joining from Hope, Maine. And if this is your first knit along with us, if you wouldn't mind saying, how did you hear about our knit along, what your connection is with the goat. So we'll start with that, if that sounds good to folks. So I'm going to start with calling on Jane C. Hi, Jane C.
Hey, everybody. I'm from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I discovered the goat when we were on vacation up in Maine. And this is my second knit along. I did the shift the last time. So I am going to knit the cardigan, and I chose the vintage chunky in this gorgeous red. It's hard to order the yarn on the website. So I was hoping it would be what I wanted, and it's perfect. So
Yay.
Hey.
Hooray. Thanks so much, and glad you're here with us again, Jane. Let's see, next up I'm going to call on Judy. Judy, tell us where you're coming from. You might have to unmute yourself. I think we muted you because you were talking to somebody and we couldn't hear.
Okay, I am from Guilford, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
And I did the sock October, but I've gone up to the cashmere goat many times because I love to go up to Camden. And I am making the cardigan also, and I'm making it with the, let me show you here. I'm making it with the Barocco, vintage chunky Barocco, and it's in oatmeal.
Nice.
And it's wonderful to work with. It's just wonderful.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah.
So far we've got a couple for vintage chunky. Way to go. I was just inventorying that today. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Well, we're going to go right from Judy to Judy Eisert. Judy Eisert, hello. Oh, still muted, Judy Eisert. I'm going to move on, Judy Eisert, because we got so many folks. I'm going to move on and I'll circle back to you. Pat. Hello, Pat.
Hello, everybody. I guess I'm the only Pat. I'm coming to you from South Carolina. And I think I've done all of the knit-alongs so far. I can't remember how many there were, but there's been a few and I've done them all. And I am now doing the cardigan. And I'm using fleece, blue-faced Lancashire by West Yorkshire Spinners in what I thought was going to be a copper color. Let's see if this light will help. And it's looking better as I'm knitting it, but it was a little on the dark side. So I went back to Iris and we found, what was that, Iris? What wasn't also in the, yeah, it was. It was the fleece.
Was it Mercado?
Oh, yeah, it's Mercado. It was the Mercado in a green. So once I get this one finished, I'm going to start again in a little bit lighter, brighter color. But I'm liking this. I think it's going to be pretty.
That yarn is one of our new favorites in the shop. Do you just love how it feels in your hand, Pat?
Oh, I do. It's wonderful. It really is.
And for those of you that don't know, Pat is like a whiz knitter. And so the fact that she's like, yeah, no, I'm already planning my next one. It's for real with Pat.
I have to finish the last one first. So,
well, Pat also moved on all this. So we'll give her a little
slack. A little busy.
So. Great. Well, let's go on my screen. I'm going to say, hi, Irina. Can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from Chicago and I came across your shop on the internet. I think I was looking for some yarn, I don't remember what, and your shop popped up. And then I went to the website and I saw in early December and I saw the information on the KAL, and I was planning to start, I was looking for opportunities to knit my first sweater, and that seemed like a good opportunity. So I took it, and I'm working with Barocco's Alpaca Chunky Natural in sourdough, and I think it's really lovely. So I've swatched it a couple times, and I am working on learning how to make a band right now. So it looks, I gauged it. So it's very lovely to work with, but it is quite stretchy. So I had to figure some things out about it.
Well, it's so nice to have you joining us, and congratulations, you're starting your first sweater. That's awesome. We love that.
Thank you.
Next up, how about Karen from Yarmouth? Hi, Karen.
Hi, everyone. I'm actually in Portland right now because I'm still at work. Didn't have time to get back to Yarmouth from Portland. This is my first KAL. One of my knitting friends, also from Yarmouth, did last year's The Shift. And then I visited the Cashmere Goat in Camden last spring. And when I saw this come up, I was like, okay, now's the time. I need to learn the proper way to knit a sweater. I've done a lot of knitting, but a lot of baby knitting, not too much adult size knitting. So I am also using the Barocco Chunky in the sage color. And I cannot show you because it is at home and I am not. But hopefully I'll be coming to you from my house next week. But great to see so many people. I think it's going to be so much fun. And Iris, thank you so much for all the great info, all the emails. Then I emailed you individually about the sizing and you were so helpful. So thank you.
Oh, it's so great to hear, Karen. We love that. And it's really fun for us to hear the stories of like how people found their way to us too. So thank you, Karen. All right, next up, how about Linda Harrower?
Hi, my name's Linda. I live in North Carolina, and I'm not sure how I got on your list. I discovered it somehow, but anyhow, I liked what I saw, and so I I signed up for the emails, and then I saw this and thought, well, I've always wanted to make that sweater, so I am. So I'm making mine out of this blue, and it's Plymouth Baby Alpaca Grande Tweed that I've had
Nice.
for a long time. And so it's found what it needs to be. So I'm
Well,
just swatching now.
Awesome. We love it. We love swatching, and welcome to you from North Carolina. That's so great.
Thank you.
Next up, I have Donna Strasser. Hello, Donna.
Hi, I'm Donna and I'm in Newcastle, Maine. And we just suffered through a horrible storm last night and this morning. We have lots of damage at the ocean. But anyway, my friend brought me up to the Cashmere Goat on December 15th, I think it was. And that's where I saw the sweater and the knit along. I've never done a knit along before. And I just have a lot of yarn because my roommate from college daughter used to own a yarn shop. And she's given me buckets and buckets of yarn. And this is just Briggs Lib Regal. It's not a real bulky, and I did a swatch on a size 10 needle. I didn't want it really, really heavy. So I did a swatch on a size 10 needle and it came out the right dimensions. So I think I'm going to try that. And I'm excited to do, like Karen said, I've never really been taught how to do sweaters step by step. I've been knitting since I was a teenager, but you know, I always just plow my way through. So it'd be nice to learn the right way. Thank you.
Well, it sounds like you're starting in a great way, which is swatching. I mean, so many of us, myself included, you know, just didn't really understand the importance of a swatch. And, you know, I was just talking to somebody the other day and she was like, I get that you're really excited about swatches, but why? Like, talk me through why this is going to help me. And yeah, so it is. It's a really important factor in trying to achieve a good fit for a sweater. And we put so much time into these darn things that's the one thing that can really be a factor in helping us achieve that fit. Well, nice to have you with us, Donna. Thank you for introducing yourself. Next up, it's Linda Harmon. Hi, Linda.
Hello. I've done several of I'm coming from Huntsville, Alabama, another Southerner, and I've done several of the knit-alongs, which I love. I'm doing the swan dance on this Juniper Moon Farms La Pampa, and the color is cornflower. It looks pretty good. It's the sun is shining brightly here. It's not warm, but the sun is shining. And I'm to the sleeves. I'm pretty excited.
That's beautiful. That is awesome. And now that the swan dance, that's a more tunic length. So good for you for getting all that body done.
Yeah, well, it looks kind of short. You know, it looks kind of short. Well, I'm to the part where, you know, I guess the underarm where the sleeve's going to join on, and that seems sort of mysterious, but it'll come.
Exciting. Well, I'm so glad that you're back with us, Linda.
Yep, I'm
nice to
happy
see
to be
you.
back too. It's good to see y'all.
Awesome. Next up, I have the screen name is Travis Klondike. Travis, are you there with us?
It is Meg and Harriet here.
Meg and Harriet.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Harriet's working on some stuff too, some projects. We are from we live in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm going to make the Carbeth sweater in black in a bulky, bulky. And we heard about this through Vicky.
Awesome. Yay. Well, we love it when friends share the good word about the goat. That's awesome. Well, welcome to you guys. So glad you're joining us.
Yeah, we're excited. Harriet will probably be with me, and I'm also like cooking dinner at the same time, so I might be like in and out.
Just do what you need to do. Totally. Okay. Let's see. Next up on my screen, I have Beth McLean. Nice to see you again, Beth.
Hi, nice to be back. So I've been through a couple of these the last year, and I got to know the goat. I stopped by on a vacation, and I'm doing the pullover, just the original one. and I'm using Malabrigo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Maca.
Okay.
And it's a blue, like a bluish color.
Nice.
So
beautiful. Well, the classic Carbeth is a great one. It's a great wardrobe addition. That's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah. And I'm from right outside of Philadelphia, so I didn't say where I was from.
Thanks, Beth. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, Vicky. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and we come to Maine every summer. We lived in Maine a long time ago, and I actually have my youngest son lives in Portland now, and I'll be up there next week. So maybe I can come to your store. But I've been in your store, and I get your emails, and I order sometimes online from you. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm making the pullover. I don't know what the official name is. And I'm using Cascade Yarns Pacific Chunky.
Nice.
And
what's your color?
This color.
Oh, yes. Love that. Wonderful. Well, welcome. And I hope we do see you in the shop.
Are you having the in-shop thing on Sunday?
This coming Sunday, yep. And you watch your email on Friday, and that's where you can sign up. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Perfect. That'd be great.
Thanks.
Let's see. Next up, I have Suze's Scots.
Hi, I'm Suze, and I'm coming to you from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Okay. I'm an original Mainer, and my husband works for FedEx, so we're down here. I found the goat through YouTube. I've made it my goal, whatever, to get back into knitting. It calms me down and I get a nice garment and, you know, working on the wardrobe. And I'm going to do the cardigan in a red from Chunky Vintage Red or whatever it is. So
yeah, you might be twinning with Jane up there. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love a red cardigan. How fun is that? And it's nice to finally put a face with your name.
I know.
We've emailed a little bit and it's great.
Yep. And I phoned the shop and stuff. But yeah, you guys have been great in helping me get this moving.
Super good. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, next up, I see Gwen Felt. Gwen, hi.
Hi. Whoa. Good echo's going on here. I don't know what the problem is.
Try now.
Is that better? Yeah, sort of. Do you have the echo too?
We're getting the echo. Sometimes that happens if you, let's see, if you're, sometimes it can happen, like if you mute and unmute, try that.
Is that better?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit, but it's better. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here again. It's still doing. You know what the problem is? I have my tablet going. And my phone.
You're joined from two. Yeah, so just mute one of them and you should be good.
I should do somebody and come back to me.
Okay, we'll pop over to Mary Ellen Mulhern and we'll come back to you, Gwen.
Thank you.
I'm Mary Ellen from Media, Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia. I've done all the KALs and it's nice to be back. I'm doing the pullover in Vintage Chunky and the color is rhubarb.
Oh, pretty. Love that. Oh, I love it. That's going to be really nice and bright. Nice to see you back for another KAL, Mary Ellen.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be back and lots of people.
Yeah, a lot of new faces. It's so fun. Well, next up, I see Brenda Hamilton. I'm so excited to meet you in person because I've like seen your name in the Facebook group and here you are in virtual real time.
And now I'm unmuted. And
Yep.
I'm actually a local goat, Iris, but I come on Wednesday nights, but I haven't been on Wednesday nights for this knitting group for a long time. My work schedule, I work in healthcare and it's just a little nutty these days. And this is, I was gonna do the Sucktober knit along and I couldn't make it work with my schedule. So this is the first knit along I'm actually getting to do. I'm going to try to come on my lunch break on Sundays, occasionally, but I work Sundays, so it's a little weird.
Okay.
But I am doing the cardigan, and hopefully you can see the color on this. It's a very pretty pink. I'm holding 2 strands of a DK weight together. I did a lot of swatching because this is what Kristen calls my old lady yarn stash. When my mother moved to senior living about 6 years ago, her neighbor who could no longer knit gave me a ton of yarn. It's all the same stuff. It's a DK woolen. It knits up beautifully. It's kind of old fashioned, but it makes a nice warm woolly sweater that'll never pill. But I have 11 balls of this in my stash. So Miranda and I put our heads together and decided that if I held 2 strands of this together, I'd use a lot of it up. But it's a very pretty color. It's got a little bit of a heathery white in it, along with the pink.
And what is the manufacturer of that?
Oh, who knows? Because it just came to me without any information.
Oh, what it? Okay.
Kristen thought it was perhaps she felt it a lot out of another sweater I was making in a different color, and it kind of reminded her of she said it was a Canadian yarn that she didn't remember the name of, that was very popular a while back, but who knows how old this yarn is, but it seems to still have some nice give and it knits up nicely, and it was free.
Love that. And I love that.
So it's my old lady yarn stash.
The old lady yarn stash. Well, I will hopefully look forward to seeing you some Sunday when you can sneak over, and you just
I'll try hard to sneak over, you bet.
And you just sneak over. You don't need to, just for you special, just zip over if you can, you know? So
thank you, because if I do, I won't be able to stay much longer than, 20 minutes, half an hour, but I don't want to take somebody's slot. So
we'll find a way.
I'll at least come over and say hello.
Oh yeah, we'll find a way. Thanks, Brenda. So next up, I'm going to circle back to Gwen, see how Gwen's sounding. Gwen Feltz.
Okay. Is that better?
Sounds perfect.
Okay. I'm Gwen, and I'm from the Mid-Hudson Valley area, from a little town called Plattekill. And we also had some bad weather here the other day. I had 21 inches of snow. So I found time to get my sweater started. I'm doing the basic pullover, and I'm using Ella Ray Echo Tweed Chunky. It's really pretty color. It's called Tide, and it's got little flecks of color in it, like a salmon and a lighter color of the tealy color, and it's just really pretty. And I really enjoyed I'm enjoying working with it, and this is going to be fun. And it's my second knit along. I did the one I did Socktober, and I enjoyed that very much. So I was looking forward to this.
Gwen, we're going to be twins with that Eco Tweed. So I'm doing the Carbeth, but for those of you at home, this is I'm trying to get a true. It's like a teal. Yeah. My light isn't great, but those flecks are just really super fun. But we can be twinning from New York and from Hope, Maine. So that's all good. Cool. I'm glad that you're back with us. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Next up, Lucy Portland. Nice to see you back, Lucy.
Wait.
I can hear
I'm not
you.
Muted. Okay.
Nope.
I'm doing the swan dance. And I started with the sleeves and I put it on a provisional cast on because I'm afraid a 22-inch sleeve is going to be way, way too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking of cutting out one of the repeats.
Mm-hmm.
I am using Noro.
Okay.
And it's the TSUIDO.
Sweeto.
Yes. In a gray, speckled kind of color. It's got some blues and some, almost like hot pinks in it.
And Lucy, remind us where you're joining us from.
Oh, I'm in Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
I just have to make a quick note about that yarn is so gorgeous. It's if those of you have seen us on YouTube, Kristen and I, that's the yarn Kristen shows as well. And oh my gosh, it is so, you know, yes, sure, from far away it would read as a neutral, but there is just so much fun texture going on in that yarn. It's beautiful.
And you don't have to wind it because it comes wound.
Pretty great.
The extra added bonus.
Love that. Okay, thanks, Lucy. I'm glad you're here. And next up, I've got Lynn. Now, Lynn, your camera's not showing Lynn Murphy, so if you don't want to like chat to us, it's fine. Some people get a little Zoom shy, or who knows, maybe they're at work right now or something like that. So I'll circle back. Karen Welch, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Karen, and I'm from Carbondale, Colorado. A recent transfer from New England, and I was introduced to this knit along and to the shop through a lovely friend who's also on the call, Wendy Callis. And I love seeing her because now I'm 2,000 miles away. I'm going to do the cardigan. And I ordered my yarn on Sunday, and it is the Fennel Vintage Chunky Barocco.
Oh, great color choice. Love that one. Well, so fun when friends recommend friends. We just love hearing that. So thanks for bringing Karen into the fold, Wendy. And actually, I think we're gonna jump over to Wendy next. Is on my screen. So how's that for a dovetail?
Hi. Well, I'm still not finished with my Scudic Bay cardigan. I'm on the second sleeve, so I decided I wanted to join this just to finish up things, and I'm finishing up all my other projects, but I'm so glad to see Karen joined. And I want to make the swan, the long tunic one is the one I want to make. So I'm not going to buy the yarn until I have my other one finished, but I couldn't resist getting on and seeing everybody again.
And Wendy, you're from Massachusetts. I can't
Yes,
remember
I'm
what
sorry,
town.
Beverly, Massachusetts, and I had visited your store in February a couple years ago, so, and got hooked as a goat.
Hooked as a remote goat. Well, and you know, Wendy, maybe you're onto something here. You might get some tips from your fellow swan dance knitters, like Linda might have some tips for you as the case may be, and also Lucy you could gather that intel and from them.
I know, I've been looking at Noro yarns though. I think I love the Noros. So
yeah,
the big balls, so they add a lot of depth. So anyway, great to be back.
so good to have you. Thanks for being here. Next on my screen, I have, is it Zena Clayman?
Yes, hi.
Hi. Welcome, Zena. Tell us all about yourself.
I'm from Edison, New Jersey. I came across your store when I was looking for very specific yarn, and only your store was carrying it, which was great. And so then I got the email about this knit together, and I decided to try first time. So I'm very excited about it. I'm needing Carbeth from Ultra Alpaca Chunky by Barocco, and it's in Lunar Mix, which is this color.
And that's a beautiful one in person, isn't it? It's a heathery.
Gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm very excited. I finished the body of the sweater and I'm on sleeves now. I'm so excited to knit it that I couldn't stop.
That's a good sign. That is a good sign. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so glad to know you're a fellow Carbeth. I've got 2 sleeves done, but I wanted to get the sleeves figured out first, so I could maybe try to talk to other people about it. And so now I'm just on the body, so I'm like taking a little breath, but I'm like, I've got to keep going to catch up with all the other Carbethers. But glad you're joining us.
Sleeve looks complicated.
It's really fun, and you probably saw that there's a video that we put in our playlist just for the Carbeth, if you're knitting the Carbeth, that kind of talks you through at least my thinking and understanding of how it worked for me to do it in terms of negotiating those increases plus the chart. So if you haven't watched that, that might give you some reassurance.
Yeah, I did. It was very helpful. Very helpful. I hope I'll figure out. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for making this video. It was very good.
Great.
I
Well,
probably will have to watch it again.
Happy to have you with us, Zena. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
next on my screen, I have, it looks like Josefa, and I think you need to unmute.
There we are.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. Hello, everybody from South Portland, Maine. I came up this fall to the Goat for the first time. I'd wanted to for a long time, and then joined the newsletter, and so heard about the KAL, and I am making the pullover in Malabrego chunky. Can you? And I'm going the wrong way. Can you see it?
A little blurry, but that looks like a gorgeous deep purple. Is it the Violetas?
It is the Violetta. So yeah, I love working with it. It's really, quite nice. And I probably have 5 inches completed so far.
That is such a beautiful color. That was another yarn. I was over in the bulky section doing the inventory today, and we just have 1 skein of that Violetas left, but I was looking at it going, wow, I don't know that we've had that particular Malabrigo colorway before, but it's just such a beautiful, rich purple, indigo, but very, very juicy. So that's going to make a gorgeous and such a soft, beautiful choice.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Welcome to the knit along.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving onward to, it looks like Marsha, welcome.
Hi, I am coming to you from Tampa. Now we have no snow, but I enjoy knit-alongs occasionally. I am doing the cardigan, and I'm using just kind of an ordinary yarn. I'm just using Cascade Ecological Wool in antique color. But the reason I picked that is because I want to do some embroidery on the raglan diagonal. I just purchased the Lane book, Embroidery on Knits, and I'm so excited about using this pattern. That strong diagonal line is going to be a great canvas for some embroidery work. So that's why I picked this particular yarn, so I can dress it up.
And sorry, so the color of that yarn, is it a gray? It's hard to see a little bit.
It's kind of a dark beige with a hint of gray.
Got it. Oh, that's wonderful. And how did you hear about us? Did you say that already? Did I just miss that?
No, I am not really sure. I know I've purchased several yarns from you during your sales, and they've been so good. I just signed up for the newsletter. And I was so excited just a few weeks ago when you had the Della Q sale. I snatched one up, and my doctor's bag came yesterday, and I am in love. So thank you for the awesome sale. So.
Fantastic. Oh, so good to hear. I just was one of the other things I did today was I snuck in a little video that because we just got the new Delaque Makers MIDI backpack. And I did 2 videos, one that was just about the MIDI backpack and sort of like what that's all about. And then I did a compare between like the satchel, which is so big, to the rucksack, which is sort of middle, and then to the backpack so people could kind of see what it all looked like. But
your video with the doctor's bag sold me completely. I watched that and I absolutely had to have it. It's like, how much more can she get in here? And I was just amazed. So that was the best video ever.
well, you know, I mean, I feel like that video just came out of my own sort of, you know, if, when we're buying things online, it's so hard sometimes to have any sense of scale and like what actually will fit. Like, I want to see, does it have a, you know, could I put my computer in it? Could I, you know, stick a water bottle? Does a book fit in there and a project? What size project? So it was really just me thinking about like all the things I want to know about in a bag, which is everything. Yeah. Well, nice to have you with us from Tampa. Love to see it. And so excited about the embroidery idea. We can't wait to follow that. That's going to be incredible. So keep us updated. I'm going to call next on, let's see, I'm going to circle way back to Judy Izard. It looks like maybe you got yourself unmuted, Judy.
Yes, I hope so. Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so I apologize. I don't know what was going on, but I fooled around and I got it settled up. Anyhow, I'm Judy Izard. I'm in Nashville, and I found the goat in Maine visiting, and I visited there several times. And I really love Maine, and I would love to go for every summer, but you know, that's just not really practical. Anyhow, I am doing the Carbeth pullover. And if you can see, this is my yarn. It's Homestead Tweed, Hardy Tweed. And it's just white with little flecks of primarily black, but some brown. And I just thought the light color would show off the area in the chest. And I am doing mine. I've done it. I'm going to do about 15 inches for the body. I think it'll work better for me because when it gets cold, and this will be a warm sweater, it's nice to have your back covered. And
I hear, yep.
And so it's going along, and I've started on the sleeves. I've got one cuff done, and I'm going to do the other cuff. I'm just working on that. And since I like the little mini 9-inch needles, but unfortunately they don't make them in the metal ones that I like in a tan, and that's what I need. So I'm going to do the magic loop.
And I just a quick note, we were talking a little bit about this within the Facebook group. So Chow Gu, is that the needle we're talking about?
Chow Gu.
Yeah. So Chow Gu, you're correct, does not make the shorties. However, they do make a set of what they call their shorty sets. And they come in 2 different sizes, right? And I've been really thinking of, yes, look, Judy's holding it. Sorry, Lucy's holding it up. Lucy, just say something.
That's what I'm using. They start at, what do they start at? 10, I think in 10.5, and they go up, and that's what I'm using for my sleeve. And it comes with 2 different size cords. They're silver cords.
Yeah. So they're
great.
An interchangeable set. Like you can get that, and so you can. We actually just got a couple in the shop, and I think one is already sold. The other one might be as well. But I've been considering that little set of shorties because I love doing the shorties on the sleeve. It just makes it go so fast. It's amazing.
I think it's heaven, but you know.
Yeah, 9 through 11.
You got my
And are these DPNs or are you doing magic loop?
No, it's just a small circular, and I'm just going around in a circle.
Oh, wow. Small circle.
So it's small enough. I started on with 32 stitches for my sleeve, And with the smallest cable wire, I was able to make a complete circle. The only thing I can't do is the central double decrease for my sleeve. So I have a Susan Bates tool with a hook on one end, and I'm using that to complete the CDD, but everything else is fine.
And
They're
is
great.
it a 16-inch wire or what are you?
Smaller.
It's like
They're
it's
really
like
tiny.
7 or 6 or something like that. It's
There's
like
two
something
small ones and one longer one.
I
9
like
inch.
using
Sorry.
them on the shorty tips on a long cord even for the magic loop, because you get just, you don't have to move the stitches around a longer needle tip.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to get some of those. Sounds great.
I'm texting Kristen right now saying I think we need to order more of those shorty sets.
Yes, do
I
because
think that's a great idea. I'm looking for double pointed needles and can't find them in 10s and 10s and a half. That they have to be about 8 inches long in order for those big stitches not to fall off. So that double pointed, I mean, that set by Chow Gu sounds good. I didn't realize they had them in the larger sizes.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd use them much. They were the last shorty. I have the other two shorty sets, and I didn't think I'd use them much. But now I'm really glad I purchased them.
So what's a magic loop? I don't know. I can't follow. I'm not sure what a magic loop is.
So the magic loop, I don't have anything on magic loop. It is where you can use a circular needle of any length. You definitely want it to be like 32 inches long or longer is what I think for something larger like a sleeved. And you're essentially using just a part of the needle at a time. So you would have a bunch of like extra cord hanging out over here while you're knitting over here, and your knitting is just sort of in a circle. So you essentially have like half of the stitches on one, and on the other there's like a zillion YouTube videos where you can actually see it. I just don't happen to have it. I want to make sure we get to everybody who's on the call, and there is a question in the chat. If you do have questions, pop them in the chat so we make sure we get to them before we end. But meanwhile, I'm going to see if Denise, would you like to say hi to us? You're muted right now, Denise.
Yes.
She's looking. There she
Hi,
is. We can
everybody.
hear you.
Hi, so my name is Denise LaShore. I live in Portland, and I found the Cashmere Goat 2 summers ago when I was doing the Maine yarn cruise, and really just loved the shop and got on the list for the emails, and that's how I found out about the knit along. I've made several baby sweaters, but never an adult sweater. I have a lot of fear about the underarm area, and just, so I'm gonna really need some help. I chose Morocco Ultra Alpaca, and I know someone else is using it as well. I chose the indigo mix. I don't know if you can see this, but I really like it. So thank you very much. I'm super excited about this.
And did you say, are you making the pullover, Denise?
Yes, I am making the
Okay.
pullover. Yeah.
Nice. Well, welcome. Is this your first knit along with us?
With you, yes. I did a knit along through the Maine yarn cruise last year with a baby cardigan.
Very cool. Awesome.
Chris,
Okay.
Before you move on, I'm going home now, but I will be joining everyone next week. So great to meet everybody. I'm gonna go home and work on my sweater.
Yes, excellent. Well, so glad you joined us from work, and hopefully we'll see your yarn next week and you. Awesome. Okay, so after Denise, I've got Teresa Custy. Hi, Teresa. I think I've seen your name online before in terms of maybe I've picked orders for you, but I don't think I've ever had you in a KAL yet.
No,
Maybe
this
I
is, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
My first KAL. I had actually emailed you about my yarn because I'm doing the pullover, and I wanted the West Yorkshire Spinner Fleece DK in the brown. So I had to get that special ordered. I got it in time to get started, so I'm excited about that. I'm from Pine Bush, New York, and it's in the Hudson Valley. I'm friends with Gwen Felt. Gwen and I are travel buddies and have been for many, many, many years. We did the sailed on the Angelique. I don't know, I think I was 17 or 18 years or something like that. And we've been shopping at the Goat whenever we're up there. And then when we stopped sailing on the Angelique, we did the yarn cruise, and we've done all of those, a lot of those shops and things. And so she said it was great to do the Socktober, and I was like, I want to do this. So here I am.
Yay. Well, welcome, first timer. We love it. It's awesome. And nice to know you've got a connection with Gwen. That's very cool. All right. Next up, I have Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. My connection seems to be a little bit rough, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear me okay, but I'm doing the pullover, and I'm doing it in the pseudo, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'm doing the brown neutral, which has lots of
Beautiful.
yummy colors and, you know, flecks. There's some red and white or cream and green, but nice neutral. And I usually knit with blue, so I've really been trying this year to get away from blue and try other colors. But
awesome.
I'm really happy with it, but I'm a very slow knitter, so I only have a few inches so far.
And you are from Edgecombe, Maine.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer.
Yes. Yeah, the Boothbay Peninsula.
Very good. Teresa Sadler, hello, welcome. Nice to see you here again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, having some trouble with my audio today. Yep, I am from Central Virginia-ish, coastal Virginia. I'm using the Juniper Moon Farm Damask. A little late to the game because I had to search elsewhere for yarn. So found something that looks like it's gonna work. It's 100% linen chinette. It's this beautiful green. They call the colorway Herb Garden. So I'm just swatching right now. So that should be done later today. I'll get
beautiful. Nice. And how does the yarn, so it's chinette, so that must not make it like too heavy as a linen, right?
Yeah, it's very light, and less like stiff than linen yarns often are. So hoping it will work well.
I'm making a note of that because we are starting to think, as crazy as it is, starting to think about summer yarns, and it's hard. It's hard with cotton and linens to find it not to be, you know, bulky, you know, to find it not to be like, but Juniper Moon does really well with bulkier cottons, making things soft. So that's a great thing to know about. I'm going to mention that. Nice to have you back with us for another KAL too. Okay, I'm going to switch to page 2 and see if I see anybody that I haven't already called on. I think we should be good. So I do have some questions, and I'm going to start with this one. Question regarding the sleeve increases on the Carbeth. Are they all on one side of the beginning of round marker? No, you are doing you're increasing at the beginning of the round and then at the end of the round on the sleeve. So they kind of are on either side there.
So my follow-up is on the swan dance. I mean, I think they're all on one side of the marker, which seems odd to me.
I'm going to make a note of that question, and I'm going to look into the pattern, and I will get back to you on that.
Because I finished one sleeve and I put it on and it seems right. I mean, it seems like it just when I think about it, it seems wrong.
Mm-hmm.
On my
And
s-
you, sorry, go
I'm-
ahead, Lucy.
I'm doing an increase at the beginning and end of my sleeve on the swan dance.
Okay. Um,
See, it's the step A that really gets me.
Because it tells you in step A that you increase 2 stitches. The end of step A, it says 2 stitches increased.
But the increase is all before the before you get to the pattern, right?
Correct.
So that puts them all on the
before the pattern side of things. Okay, here's a question. Do you think, not having knit this one myself yet, but do you think it's because you want that lace pattern to travel down the outside of your arm? So
I do. But I just want to make sure because I'm, halfway up the second sleeve. I mean, here's the first sleeve and you can see, can you see the increases? Here's, but here it looks not, I mean, the pattern looks nice down the sleeve, I'm just seems odd. Anyway, I'll wait for investigative research.
Yes. I'm just gonna text that question out.
And the reason I asked about the Carbeth is because it was the other one with the pattern on the sleeve.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you
you
for that question. I will be back in touch with you on that for sure. And
thank you.
And that might go in an email as well. Okay. Arena has a question about choosing the size with your yarn. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what you mean?
Well, I'm right in between sizes, and she says that if you're in between sizes, you should go up in size. And I tend to not like things too bulky. And also I'm Barocco alpaca, ultra alpaca chunky. From what I've noticed is drapes a lot and stretches a lot. And Barocco actually recommends for the gauge of 14, 10 millimeter needles, not 10.5. And I swatched it in both 10.5 because that's what the pattern recommends. And then I swatched it in 10. And I have to say, after I steam ironed it this morning, the 10 needle swatch looks much better than 10.5. It's just the stitches look not as big and it doesn't stretch as much. And I can do this here. I don't know if I can show it. I'm not as, there we go. Hold on. 1 second. Yeah, so this is my 10. And you can, this is my 10. And can you see it? Yeah, so
I'm
that's
gonna
how,
spotlight it. Yeah.
so that's the 10, and I'm just learning how to do the this is just me practicing the button band. And this is my 10.5, and this one hasn't been blocked. Just blocked the other one, but it's, I mean, it stretches a lot. You can see it just, if I were, I don't know how to put the phone down, but it stretches a lot, the 10.5. And so what I'm concerned about is that so I'm thinking I'm going to do the 10 because I am meeting the gauge in the stitches. It is 14 after being blocked. Over here, I get an extra row. It's after blocking, it's 21. And before blocking, it was 14.5 over here, 20 over here. So I had about a half a stitch more. But after blocking, it's now 14 this way, 21 over there, that way. And since I'm going to knit longer anyway, both the sleeves for the cardigan and the body, I don't think the number of rows matters that much. And so, but I am thinking of going down in size, not up. going to medium versus going up to large, only because this stretches so much and it's going to drape. And I'm just concerned that if I go up in size after it can get too big. And so I have never knitted with this before. I've never knitted a sweater. So I wanted to get some insight from you and from other ladies here.
First of all, let me compliment you on the generous sizing of your swatch. I know that when a lot of us, it's Kristen especially, she's like, I'm on a mission to make everybody not just love swatching, but we've been brainstorming perhaps a blog post with the title, I like big swatches and I cannot lie. Because a big swatch just gives you more data. And so wonderful job on the large size swatch. I think you're spot on with the fact that you need to love the fabric and your fabric needs to meet the gauge. And so it sounds like the 10 is perfect. And if it's meeting the horizontal, the horizontal stitch gauge, great. If you're a little bit higher on your row gauge, much easier to control for that, when you're adding length or subtracting. So that sounds spot on. And I think that the question about your sizing, it's a really good one because I think your instincts are correct. And if there's anybody else that wants to weigh in too, but I think your instincts are correct with the yarn. Having felt it myself, it is, the ply is a little looser. It has the alpaca in it. It's going to be more flexy. So the other thought that I would have is, if you have a sweater that you do enjoy the fit of, to measure that, bust dimension with your tape measure on the the widest part of that sweater as a just comparison, so that
I measured 3 different sweaters already, and I have anything from 106, which is centimeters, which is size medium, to 114, 114, which is size large. And then I have 110, which is where I would normally fall, because my bust size is 100 centimeters, and she says add 10 centimeters. So that's why I said I'm like right in between 106 and 114. But my thought was, given how much this drapes and this stretches, that going down to 106 sounds safer. Because if it then stretches a little bit, I'll hit that 110 after stretching, as opposed to if I go up to 114 and then it stretches, suddenly I'm going to be at 118, and that's just too much. And that's kind of what I was thinking. And I wanted to talk it through and make sure my thinking was correct, since I've never worked with alpaca before or such a stretchy yarn.
I think it's great. And I think that your instincts are spot on, but I would be happy to hear anybody else who wants to weigh in here as well. All right, I think you should sally forth with the medium.
All right,
seems to be in agreement.
Thank you so much. Thanks for talking through it. I appreciate it.
It does really help to talk it through, doesn't it? Sometimes just even, yeah, great.
Thank you.
I'm running through another question. So Brenda's question is, when holding 2 strands together, what is the best way to deal with the tendency for them to twist around each other? And I'm going to defer to anyone who's knitting with 2 strands, and that might be Pat, possibly, I can't remember who else, but any tips on the twistiness of 2 strands?
Mine actually aren't twisting together. They're laying side by side. And so it might be the way the yarn is processed that causes it to twist, because mine just lay side by side. And
I'm a continental knitter, and I wonder if that's part of the difference. If there's something in the way I knit that makes them want to twist around each other. I'm kind of smoothing them as I go, but as I keep pushing the twist further down, I end up getting little patches where I'm having, kind of yarn I have to sort out.
Goodness.
Brenda, I'm a continental knitter too, and I'm finding that mine sometimes does that and sometimes doesn't. But what I found too is that when you do, like, I caked up the yarn, and if I use it from outside the cake instead of pulling it from inside the cake, it binds up less.
That's interesting because I actually have these wound kind of old school in balls. So it's coming from the outside.
And I've had that happen with balls of yarn when I've held things together. When I wind them myself, I get more.
You get more twist. All right. It's probably the way I've wound them, and I may want to come up and use a Swift and rewind them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'll bet I've put a twist in the yarn as I've been doing the old fashioned, just balls.
Yeah. That can.
I got all this yarn in great big skeins.
I have
Just
another
three.
question, and then I see a couple folks who've hopped on, and I want to just make sure we say hi to them before we run out of time. I'm willing to stay on later, but if you do need to pop off, we will hopefully see you next Wednesday if your time is tight tonight. But it's been a super great kickoff. But I'm still going to hang out here. So Vicky's question about getting gauge on the size 10 needles. So assuming that the below size Vicky will use for cast on is size 9. And so, yes, that is exactly right. I know some people have played with actually not like playing with that ribbing gauge, so you could, of course, if your preference is for a less maybe gauge that tends to come in, you could stay right on your 10s and cast on with 10s if you like that. But yes, indeed, size 9 would be below size if you're getting gauge with 10. Okay, so I see that Barbara Bittner has joined us. Barbara, hi.
Hi. I was so excited about the start of this, and I just came back from the beach, so I apologize. But it's wonderful to see so many people.
So many people, and we've got some brand new faces here. Barbara's one of our local goats for most of the year, and then she does leave us for a little bit in the yuckiest part, and she gets to go to the beach instead of being in like the rainy windstorm flooding that we're having.
Yeah, it's really, how is the goat?
Goat is fine, but there were definitely some downtown Camden businesses, restaurants that were pretty hit hard. Waterfront restaurant, underwater, not just waterfront, in the water. And yeah, pretty crazy. Barbara, what yarn are you using?
I am using Noro Suedo. Sweeto. And I'll get it. I just put it over here. Sorry. So I'm using this.
The beautiful gray with the
It's
flags.
so wonderful. There's so many different colors in it. I don't know if you can see. Can't really see this, but anyway.
Wonderful. Well, it's so happy to see your face on this Zoom. Glad you're here with us.
I'm glad to see you guys too.
And I see Kathy Walks.
Yes, that's correct. Hi.
Hi, Kathy. Welcome.
Hi.
Tell us where you're joining us from.
Well, I'm actually in Decatur, Georgia. I live in Huntsville, but my husband and I got involved in this house renovation project down the street from where my son lives. And so I've been outside cleaning up the yard, and I looked down at my watch. It was like, dang. So that's the reason for my late joining. But anyway, yeah, having a blast. I wanted to comment. Somebody asked about the twisting yarn issue. I have that as well. I just periodically lift up my project and untwist it and let it kind of twirl away. And
yeah,
I just dangled it over my stairway.
Yeah, right.
Let it untwist.
Yeah, there's kind of a trick to it, but anyway, so yeah, I kind of have a combination of like twisty and flat. So, but yeah, great project, and looking forward to the rest of the knit along. Thanks.
Kathy, tell us before you hop off, what's your yarn and which Carbeth are you knitting?
I am knitting the Carbeth, and I'm using Quince and Company Owl. It's kind of a weedy, rustic yarn, and I'm holding it double, as I said, and I'm actually pretty far along. I started with the sleeves because I was concerned I wouldn't be able to figure it out, and I did have some trouble, but Iris exchanged some emails with me and some photos, and so I think I got it right. And so now I'm actually starting the body. I did a provisional cast on, and so I've just got I guess about 5 inches. So I think I'm going to join in the sleeves and then try to sort of fit it, as I finish the yoke and then go down.
Amazing. Great to have you joining us. And just for anybody that had the question about the sleeves, it does look like the sleeve increases on the swan dance are beginning and end of round. We confirmed that. So it sounds like maybe Linda's going to be having a ripping out party.
Oh.
Oh.
I just ripped out one whole sleeve while we were talking. I figured it out. I sent you an email. It's because of the way this pattern is written. I mean, I just, it's just snuck right in there. I read it and reread it, but nope, I was wrong.
One of our coworkers at the Goat, one of our coworkers at the Goat was just saying, we were just chatting, Tracy was saying, as with any writer, each pattern writer has their style, their voice, and you love some writers and you get used to their voices, and then you go to a different writer and you're like, wow, that's really different. Okay. And it takes you some time to get used to it. So I wanted to just quickly say, when we were talking about the short needle sets of Chow Gu, it sounds like Kristen is making a needle order tomorrow. So if there's anybody that would like a set of those shorty Chow Gu needles that come in the bigger sizes, like the 9 through 11 or whatever it is, like the ones Lucy was showing, if you would like Kristen to put one, add an extra one into the order because you want to buy it, just maybe email me and I can let her know that. And then there was a last question here from Arena, and that was, why do some folks do provisional cast on? Anybody want to field that question?
Oh yeah, I can do that. I am definitely going to be making a provisional cast on when I start the sleeves, because they're knitted from the bottom up, and I'm very fussy about where my sleeves end. And so I'm not going to knit the cuff first. I'm going to do a provisional and then knit the cuff later from those live stitches. I'm going to then knit the cuff down so that I get the exact right length once the sleeve is attached to the body. That way I know I'll be very pleased with the sleeve length. I feel just cringy to think I'm going to just guess at my sleeve length.
And actually, Linda, what turned me on to a new video that I think I still need to add to our playlist on YouTube, that was about how to do a provisional cast on with a barber cord. And for those of you who aren't already familiar, barber cords are a fun little tool that nobody thought we ever needed until now we know what they are, and now we can't live without them. And each tin comes with a set of 3 very small silicone tubes that you jam onto the end of your needle. And so here's mine, and I can take my needle tip and like put it right on here and smush it down, and then it's very easy to move those stitches right onto it. It's a great tool to have if you're doing a top-down raglan and want to try it out. But anyway, Linda, I'm going to remember to put that video in our playlist so anybody that wants to check it out can look. But yeah, provisional cast on is definitely one of those things where if you think you might want to you either need to, the pattern asks you to, or you might want to add length or subtract. It's a way to keep the stitches live as opposed to having them, you know, firm up and knit, if that makes sense.
And typically that's good for the sleeves, right? You don't need that for the body, even if you're knitting the longer body than the pattern advises.
I mean, you can do a provisional cast on as whenever you want, so it could work for the body just as easily. And actually, I emailed the designer of this pattern to just find out if she had any tips for us about, you know, where that sleeve will land on your arm, or where, because that's a question that we all have, and I have not to date heard back from her. So provisional could be a safe way to go.
I'm provisional because of the body as well, because the Carbeth is kind of a sort of a midriff, you know, styled to be worn shorter, but I want mine a little bit longer. So that's the reason why I did mine that way.
So you did provisional cast on the body as well? Because I want mine longer for both the sleeves and the body, and I was wondering how to do that. Okay, so you did that on the body as well.
I did the body, but the sleeves I didn't. So I'm just I'm just kind of like putting my arm in the sleeve, and I'm just knitting until I feel like it reaches the proper length for me, you know.
And with the body, then you start with the stockinette stitch, and then you're gonna knit the rib later with provisional cast on.
Yeah, I'm just doing you know, several inches. Right now I've got 5 inches of the stockinette on the body, and then I'll just take out my chain and, you know, get my live stitches, and then just go down further with stockinette and then add the rib last.
Oh, that sounds great, because you can probably do that after you get the whole top done, and then you can just sort of, yeah, I think I like that idea. Okay, thank you for suggesting. That sounds great.
It's also good if you think you might run out of yarn.
Yeah, that's another
you know, because you don't want to have half a sleeve.
Yeah. Well, this group is already blowing my mind. You are all amazing, and I'm so appreciative that we're all on this Carbeth adventure together. And here we are. It's already 6:10. We sometimes call this the fastest hour of the week, but here it is. We've already gone over an hour because so many good questions and answers. So as always, you know, feel free to email if we've got a question that comes up. Otherwise, I hope that I'll see most of you next week for Wednesday's Zoom. Actually, next week is our special date with the designer of the sweater, Kate Davies. And that's going to happen, as mentioned in the emails. That is a special timing for the Zoom because she's, of course, in Scotland. So that's going to be an earlier Zoom, and I'll write all about that in this Friday's email. There's a special link and a special Zoom password and all that stuff. So, so I think we're probably not going to meet a second time next Wednesday. We're just going to have the Zoom with Kate. So that, I think, is 11 in the morning. But anyway, watch for that in the email. And in the meantime, happy Carbeth knitting, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see everybody.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good week.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
knitting.
Bye. Thanks for being here.